right, well, good evening and good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, as my lovely friend Grant Cameron likes to say when he starts his broadcasts. I'm Deb Shakti, and welcome to our event tonight. It's a very exciting event where we're going to have the Star Teachers, the ET group entity that I channel, will come in and give a global message for the world, as they like to do. And they've been pushing me to do for several months, but I just haven't been able to fit it in. So we're well long overdue. We usually do these about once a month, and it's been probably 5 or 6 months since I've done one. I can't keep up. But anyway, I just want to welcome all of you, and there will be people popping in and out throughout the event, but we've got everybody silenced, so it shouldn't cause any problems. They'll come on, give a message, and then they're going to give a kind of a guided upgrade healing type session where hopefully you will love that. Everybody seems to really like that portion of the event when we do these things. So, feel free to get really comfortable during that. And then once they bring us back, we'll open the floor to questions. And please don't be shy, because probably the question you have is a question that a more shy person than you might have, and they just won't ask. So we want to make sure that we ask a lot of questions at the end. So anyway, without further ado, I want to welcome you all. Some of you are veterans to these Star Teacher events, and thank you for returning. Some of my old friends are here, some of my new friends are here. For those of you who have never been involved with the Star Teachers before, they are guides of mine who have been with me, I guess, all my life, but they identified themselves, literally physically came into an energy healing session of mine many years ago, almost a decade ago now, and came in and helped me with that healing. It was a miraculous healing, and then we've been kind of just consciously in contact ever since on a day-to-day basis. They give a lot of information to me and to the world, and I'm just so grateful to know them. But the main message is that they are us, just on a little bit higher frequency. And if you want to think about it linearly, they are us from the future contacting us now to remind us that we actually did it, as they say. We actually did jump over that threshold where we either were going to blow up the world and annihilate ourselves, or evolve to this higher layer of being, the 5D and beyond. So that is their whole mission, just to let us know that we actually do it. And the message that they've been saying in the last couple of years is we actually do it in this particular incarnation, like this lifetime. All of you who are on this program right now, it's done in this lifetime for you. And because of how you are spending your life, how you are evolving in your own way in this lifetime, it is us, it is we, this group of humans who literally accomplish this. And it sounds like a big task given what you see outside in the world, but they say we do it, and they've shown me, they've shown me, like with pictures, with movies, of how everything comes out, and it is beautiful, and I'm very excited to be part of this. There was something else I was going to say about that. Now I'm a little bit distracted because of all the screens that are coming up, and I keep seeing the screens that I'm shown when I'm with the teachers, which is funny. Anyway, the message for tonight, as they have told me, or the theme, is how to deal with current world affairs so that we can jump that threshold. Okay, so I have no idea what they're going to say, but I know it's going to be powerful. So I'll just remind all of you to just get comfortable, to have an open mind and an open heart, and stay muted until we get to the question and answer portion of the event, which is more towards the last half of the event, okay? If you have anything that you like to use for guided meditations or journeys, such as an eye mask, or you like to find a place to lie down, feel free to do that and just turn your speakers up a little bit so you can hear. So anyway, having said that, I really thank you again for being here. Again, my name is Deb Shakti. I'm the channeler for the Star Teachers and for many other beings. I also am a many decades long quantum hypnotherapist, and my work is featured in a new film called Alien Abduction Answers, which is out right now on most streaming platforms, and now it's out on DVD too. Should have an international release in the next couple of months. So just look for my work there. But this is the work that's really close to my heart, because I get to pair with these amazing beings, and I get to kind of go on vacation while they use my body and speak through me. Oh, which, by the way, just in case those of you who are new have never seen this, it might look a little strange, because when we go through the questions and answers period, I'm going to ask each of you to use the raised hand little application on Zoom here, where you just hit, it's a little hand, you just hit it if you have a question, and they'll call on you. They'll use my voice. So you may see my body looking and moving the mouse around, but I am nowhere to be found in this universe when all of that's going on. So that's why we record it, not just so that you all will have it and people who can't join us, but also so I'll be able to listen to it later and see what they said, because I don't remember usually. All right, so let's get started. We don't have to do anything special other than just set intention that this is going to be the most enlightening, beautiful event that we've ever had together. As I said, we have a lot of new and old friends here. I do want to give a really quick shout out to Costa McCrease and Hollis Polk. Costa is the founder of the amazing contact community called ET Let's Talk, and his wife Hollis is a very well-known psychic and also just his partner in all things ET. I thought I might ask them to say a couple of words before we get started, because we work very closely together and the teachers work very closely with them as well. So Costa and Hollis, if you want to say a couple words, go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Thanks. Hello, Debs and Star Teachers.
Hi, Debs and Star Teachers.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to say a few words. Some people may know this who are on, and there may be a lot of new people who don't know that etletstalk.com, the community, for 12 years has been making monthly contact with our worldwide groups, and had lots of videos, experiences, contact throughout those years. And it's all a part of the People's Disclosure Movement. So I want to invite those of you who are not already part of this movement to come and join us. If I could characterize it this way, I think it's the largest interactive human-initiated contact with cosmic beings ever on the earth. And we really are at the forefront of that and creating it bigger and bigger all the time. So if you really want to help the earth and reach the golden age and what the Star Teachers talk about, making it through, breaking through and thriving, part of what you can do is join etletstalk.com and the People's Disclosure Movement. So I invite all of you. I also like to say that everyone who comes to the community has a story that they may have held inside of themselves, and yet when they find a community, they know that it's a safe place where they can talk to other experiencers, much like yourselves, and share. And that's really how we build the group field, build our power all over the planet, by sharing the truth of the contact that we have had. And because everyone has a story, I had a story that brought me here in 2006. It was an up close and personal encounter with a starcraft in the company of other sane adults that lasted for half an hour, and that changed the course of my life and helped me realize that what I really wanted to do was teach other people and create a community where people can come together and have the same experience I just had. And the same goes for Hollis. While I was in Mount Shasta having my experience,
I had the home visit. 4 or maybe 5 little beings showed up in our bedroom, just manifested. We had some telepathic contact. They were full of love, and that changed my life.
Yeah, so I know many of you have stories out there. Join us. We'd love to see you every month and every day. And etletstalk.com. And that's the end of my commercial. Thank you, Debs and the Star Teachers, for letting us say a few words here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys, there's so much more to their story. I hope you'll go there somewhere and listen to it. But also, just so you'll know, that is the best community to just interact with each other. If you don't really have anybody around your area where you can, interact with about this kind of stuff or your experiences, reach out to some of those members. There's an interactive map, really comprehensive, on the website where you can find people in your own area to talk to and maybe even get a group together or join an existing group or start your own group and invite other people. So I highly recommend. Thanks a lot, guys. All right, so we're going to get started now with the Star Teachers portion of the event. So I would just invite all of you to get comfortable and, again, open your minds, open your hearts. And what I have to say about this is each of you will probably hear something slightly different, maybe even more grandly different than your neighbor there on the screen. So know that they are speaking directly to you, and each person is getting their own little feed, which I think is awesome. So here we go. I'm just going to take a couple of deep breaths myself and get a couple of my little crystals that I love to hold when I channel. And greetings to all of you in this moment of your time, the most precious, powerful, pinnacle moment in the eternal now. We are so grateful to you for joining us this evening, and we hope that you will stay for the entire event, because throughout this event you're going to be receiving energy upgrades, DNA activations, and all sorts of balancing and healing energy. Each person will hear a message that is specifically designed for them. Coming through on the carrier wave of the words, though, is the deeper, more energetic, more impactful information that you are so longing to receive. So, our first message is, as our partner said earlier, we are another you. That is why at the end of each of our messages, we always say the greeting or the salute in Lakesh. It was taught to the Mayan people on your planet eons ago. It means, literally, I am another you. And this is true. We are you, just existing on a slightly higher frequency than the one that your sustained focus is on. To explain this a little further, think about a glass of water, pure clean water, and you sprinkle some fairy dust or glitter in the top of the glass. For a while, the glass is still very clear and the glitter is at the top. That's a very high frequency up here. It's weightless. It doesn't have a lot of baggage. It doesn't have a lot of accessory stuff attached to it. But as the glitter starts to get a little bit absorbed with the water, its focus is more on the water than on the air where it was sprinkled from. It starts to come down and down and down and down and down until you see some on the bottom. And there will be some in different layers of that glass, depending on how fully absorbed each piece of glitter is with the water. That is how your attention is. That is how your realities are created. Your reality is created by the intensity of the focus of what you are paying attention to. So, right now, most of you are in the third dimensional Earth human construct, all right? But many of you, in fact, all of you who are listening to this right now, have done this countless times, what you might call reincarnations. But know that time is not linear. It's not even a real thing. It is just a concept, an idea to help you understand maybe how things play out, cause and effect. But that is just part of this construct. It is not part of how the general part of creation works. This is a very special kind of science lab, if you will, that you built for yourselves, and you've been coming back to and back to and back to do experiments in. However, most of you have really squeezed the blood out of all of this turnip, and you are finished. You're kind of bored with it, or you're annoyed with the outcome of some of the experiments, and you want to move up. You have this longing. You feel like you belong someplace else where there's less animosity, less rigidity, less duality, if you will, less judgment. And so humans are starting to wake up. Those of you who are waking up, or who are really fully awakened, you know that there's way more to life than what is just here in front of you. So this is that point in your species development where you literally, as a collective, decide to sustain your focus on one of the higher levels of being. You don't move to another level, you move your attention to another level. And once you sustain your attention for some time, where you're really focused on that and it's giving you joy and it's taking all of your attention, the other levels become probabilities. They never go away. They never die. Nothing ever dies in this universe or any of the universes. But when you are not focused on them, they become probabilities. In other words, they're like movies on giant TV screens, and each TV screen has a different movie, and you have all of them but one on pause. The one that is on play is your reality. Make sense? So, you are tired of this movie, and you know there's more. That's why we're here. Part of our ability to sustain our focus on this much higher level frequency of reality, where we enjoy a co-creative, egalitarian, harmonious existence with our fellow beings and with most of the rest of the cosmos, is sustained by raising our feeling state. How do you raise your feeling state? Unconditional love for everyone, and especially for yourself. Gratitude for everything, even the things you don't understand much about why they're happening. Kind of sketchy things, the shadowy things. You're still grateful for them because you understand that they are there to teach you and help you to evolve. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. And when you forgive, you are able to be grateful because you recognize that someone who may have perpetuated harm or suffering to you or anyone or anything else is actually one of your teachers. And something that really helps to raise your vibration is to be of service to others, to share what you know, to share your resources, to share your abilities. That's how we sustain our focus in this higher frequency, by being of service to you. So it is our great joy to join you tonight to help raise your vibrational frequency so that you not only can just hear words that we're saying right now, but you will eventually be able to perceive us and join us in a sustained focus in that higher frequency. So having said that, we want to come to the task at hand, talking about how you, in this human third dimensional earth life construct, walking around in this beautiful piece of biotechnology, but it's still very rudimentary, what we call the spacesuit. your human body mind complex. How do you accomplish this? How can you do this when everything around you seems to be in disarray? So much violence, so much suffering, so much anger and control and manipulation, and just pure what you would call evil. How do you do it? Well, the first thing is to make sure that you at least are open to, or at least receiving this message that there is no evil and there is no good. There just is life. And life is expressing itself on countless levels of frequency within an infinite looping spectrum. And they're all entangled together via the quantum field. So it's a very complex concept, but it's also very simple. If you can get your mind around the fact that maybe you don't understand what you might call as something bad or dark, and differentiate it from something good or light, it's going to be difficult for you to move up into that frequency, that sustained focus of frequency we were talking about a little while ago. But we hope by the end of this evening you will have the feeling state of that. Because if you can maintain that feeling state for a greater amount of time, with a greater amount of energy than feeling down or low or disappointed or angry, all those lower level emotions, you will soon be able to build your spiritual muscles enough to be sustained in that focus. And one day, you'll just look around and realize, all that stuff, those wars and all of that financial craziness and all that political craziness, I don't hear about that much anymore. Did I fall asleep and wake up somewhere else? Am I a Rip Van Winkle in the cosmos? And we want to say, no, you were never asleep. You finally woke up. Okay? So we'll move from all of that heady stuff into how do you handle what's right in front of you right now? Well, to do that, we want to talk first a little bit about the phrase current life affairs. We want to break the word affair down just for a moment. Affair. Now, there are lots of definitions that you have in your languages about the word affair. It can mean something that is a construct, a business construct. It could be something that describes something between two lovers, kind of taboo or hidden. It can mean something like almost a judgment, like, I'm not going to get involved with that. That's your affair. So there are many meanings. But what we want to do is just break it down to the two syllables, affair. What do you do at a fair in your society? Fairs are for amusement. They're for fun, for entertainment. Maybe you make new friends. Maybe you just go and have a big party. Maybe you ride rides, eat cotton candy, play. A fair is something for your amusement. It's something to take your attention away from something else that you feel might be more serious and that maybe you don't want to look at for a while. Okay? So let's move a little further and break down that word, amusement. Amusement. The muse is your inspiration. Musing is also thinking deeply about. So when you are thinking about something very concertedly, when you are allowing yourself to put all of your focus in one place, you are musing. And that's what amusement is. You are literally allowing yourself to look at something else when you might be able or might need to be paying attention to other things. When you feel like you've paid attention to something that is so serious for so long that you need to pull your attention to something else. Now, why are we talking about these two words in this way? Because what we want to get across to you is that everything you see outside of yourself, is not outside of you. There's only one mind in the universe, YO universe, and it is you. Everything else is a mere reflection of something symbolically in your being. All of the people you see on your screen right now, all of the people and beings and buildings and everything out in the world are nothing more than symbolic representations of something within your own eternal divine being. And so when you are noticing things outside of yourself that you don't like or do like, it is your brain interpreting, albeit somewhat on a low level, that information that you're giving yourself about maybe something you should be paying attention to in your own being. Now, why are we saying this? Again, that's heady stuff. You may or may not buy into it. But think of the most despicable person you can think of in the world right now. Just take a moment, and when you have a person, just raise a finger to signify you have that person in your mind. It can be anyone. Someone who is causing lots of trouble. Okay, so some of you have a person in mind, and I really imagine that most of you do, but you're just too kind to say that you are thinking about someone in that way. But when you think about what that person stands for, what do they symbolize? What is the symbol? Without thinking about it, without analyzing it, what does that person symbolize to you? An emotional state or a descriptive adjective? When you get a word or a phrase that describes that person to a T, that is the symbolic message to you about something within your own being that you should be kind of looking at. Now, we're not saying that you are trying to be a dictator and overrun the populace of the world so that you can do your evil madness. We're not saying that you are the richest person in the world and yet you're so stingy that you refuse to help others. We're not saying that at all. Remember, we're talking about symbolism, the language of the universe. It is the universal language. Maybe you're thinking about a person who's tried to sabotage your government and is trying to take over and change things and really do things in a way that is despicable, and it's very disconcerting to you, and you get upset when you think about this person. That person is symbolizing, with that feeling state, something that is within you. Now, we're not saying that you want to take over the government and be a dictator and control and manipulate other human beings. No, what we're saying is maybe you have an inner saboteur who is trying to take over the good path that you're on. Sometimes it goes by another name, the ego. We know all of you have had this experience at least once in your life where you were really on a roll, accomplishing a goal for yourself. And you were building something beautiful in your world, maybe for yourself or for your family or for your community. And then suddenly you get distracted by 1,000 other things and you forget where you were on that path and you lose steam, and then suddenly you just feel like you don't have the energy anymore and you give up. And then you're sad and you start to spiral down in your feeling state, and things outside of you start to look like they're falling apart. Well, it's because there was an inner saboteur, a tiny fragment of your own being that came in and tried to upset the apple cart, because guess what? If you're really successful and you accomplish what it is you chose to accomplish, something victorious, maybe, getting back in shape or becoming a very successful entrepreneur so you can be an altruistic service to others. Well, if the ego comes in and sabotages that, it feels victorious, because if you're successful and you get well known for this and you become successful, it's afraid you're going to forget it exists. And that is the greatest fear of all beings everywhere, the fear of death, which is, we must say, utterly ridiculous, because there is no death ever. There is only energy, and energy is vibrating in different frequencies to take on different forms, and at times the energy changes frequency and thereby its form. Just because you leave that spacesuit lying on the bed or the ground at some point in this particular life focus doesn't mean you died. It means you're changing form. Does that make sense? So, we hope that example was good enough for you, but we want to give you another example. Let's say there is another being on this earth, either having lived and moved on to a different form, or living right now, and you're aware of them, and they are doing horrible things to innocent people. They're literally slashing and burning communities and usurping all of the riches, taking everything for themselves and leaving the rest to starve. Again, it is symbolic. None of that outside of you is really outside of you. It is symbolic. So somewhere inside your own being, this divine eternal being, there is a part that is asking for a little attention, saying, hey, there's a piece of us that is trying to slash and burn or not take care of the rest of the whole of us. It's kind of being disruptive, and it is causing us a lot of pain and suffering. We encourage you to go into meditation, however you practice your meditation, to go within and ask yourself, where is my inner saboteur, and what kind of havoc are they wreaking? Where is my shadow? What is it doing to destroy some of the things that I have built up for the good within myself and in my community? Who am I alienating in my own being? And then look around and see if you are maybe have some answers for yourself within yourself. If that's too deep, look around the people in your own life, in your family, in your neighborhood, in your community. How have you been treating them? Have you been treating them all with kindness and harmony and equality and inclusion? Or have you maybe kind of not paid attention to some of them because it's a little bit too rocky, or it's a little bit too uncomfortable, or maybe you're just too self-focused that you aren't noticing that there are others out here who are symbolic portions of yourself who might need a little extra tender loving care. So where we're going with all this is to tell you, the world is insane right now because the minds of the humans are in disarray. There is so much distraction. There is so much stimulus that it is very hard to quiet yourself enough to tune in to that inner voice and ask, do I have an inner saboteur? Do I have an inner dictator that wants to take over and cause evil? Do I, for myself, do I have an inner person who is deliberately or not deliberately alienating others, alienating parts of myself? What am I hiding from myself? And then intend with your practice to see the shadow, And not just see the shadow and know exactly what it's doing, but to embrace the shadow, to love it unconditionally, and to feed it all the light that you can by keeping your feeling state high. Remember, the higher your feeling state, the higher your vibrational state, the less resonant you are with the lower vibrational states, and they cannot live in the same spot. They become probabilities. They're on pause. So our advice to you is, as you look around your world, and we're not saying put your head in the sand and don't pay attention to anything happening in your community, in your country, in your world, in the cosmos. We're not saying that, because it's all great information for what's happening in you. Pay attention to it, but only to discern what is your preference, what is your preferred reality. Don't dwell on it, and most certainly don't try to fight it, because fighting causes resistance, and resistance does nothing more than cause more pain and more suffering. And we can hear your mind saying, yes, but there's evil in the world and we need to fight it or it will just take over, and then none of us will have any light. But it's not true, because your secret weapon is this: love, unconditional love. So when you see that inner saboteur being symbolized by someone out there around you in your society, send them unconditional love, because you have no reason to understand, you have no way to understand how they came about expressing that way. Not only send them unconditional love, but instead of feeding the energy of the evil that they are expressing by focusing on it, getting mad at it, wanting to fight it, that just feeds the same energy. It causes more momentum on that side of the spectrum. As soon as you recognize that you are noticing your reaction to someone or to some situation like that, immediately go and do the opposite in your world. Do the opposite for yourself, for your neighbor. If you see someone trying to bully and malign someone, send them unconditional love, really. And then immediately go and try to be kind to someone who maybe doesn't get a lot of attention in this world. Do you see where we're going with this? Flip the switch, because that feeds the energy on this end of the spectrum, and the more you brighten that light, less energy this over here has, and eventually it just gets put on pause or even stop. It becomes a probability, it doesn't ever go away, but it does not have to be part of your existence, nor anyone else's. If you really believe that you are here to be a light worker, and you are, if you're listening to this, there's no mistake that you are. And you're at a very high level in your evolvement, or you would not be able to receive this message. So you light workers, make this your new spiritual practice, or give more energy to this spiritual practice. The minute you perceive evil or darkness in someone else, first look for it in yourself from that symbol, and vow to love it and help it by showing more light to it. And then in your outside world, go do something that is just the opposite of what it is you're despising. If someone's being greedy and hoarding all of the abundance in your community, go out and give something away that means something to you, whether it's money or a treasure or your time to someone who doesn't have very much. This is how you change it. And we want to remind you, we were you at one point on this spectrum. And because we did what we are telling you to do tonight in this recording, in this event, once you start doing it and you start telling others about it and you teach others how to do it, because you're going to get really, really good, really, really fast, this flips the energy. And then everyone who has made a decision to move up a level or 10 hits escape velocity and is no longer pinned to this very slow moving, rigid, dualistic, negative reality anymore. And isn't that what you're here for tonight? You want to know how to do it. That's how you do it. Start out with some small stuff. You don't bench press 300 pounds the first day you walk into the gym. You learn how to use the bench press first, and then you work your way up. So do gentle things at first, and then start making it increase in its momentum, because the cool thing is it starts to give you more joy. And so you get this momentum within your own energy being. And soon the world starts to morph into your preferred reality. And then the real fun starts, because you get more energetic gifts the higher up you move. And the more joyful you become. And the more joyful you become, the higher up you move. And the more energy you have to give to others and to yourself. So we know you wanted to hear something like how to overcome these evil governments and how to change the financial and political systems and everything. We just gave you the answer. If you will only take it to heart. Not to head, but to heart. We love you so very much. We are so eternally grateful to all of you, because without you and what you are doing in this lifetime, we exist. We will continue to assist with your evolvement to ensure our existence selfishly and beyond. And so we say to you, before we go into this guided portion for the upgrading and the activations in Lakesh, we are another you. We hope you feel that. All right, friends. We've now disseminated that message. We are going to help you integrate it now with the guided experience, this immersion that we'll be taking you through in just a moment. So if you would like to get comfortable, if you want to put on an eye mask or an eye pillow, lie down, turn off the lights, turn off your camera, whatever you choose, please do that now. Be sure you have a way to hear us. And we'll begin the next portion, the guided immersion. Enjoy. And so, dear friends, we ask that if your eyes are closed, open them just for a moment and look up as far as you can to the sky or the ceiling above your head. Lift your chin, open your heart, look up, perhaps smile. And while you're looking up, keeping the eyes lifted, gently close the eyelids down. You can leave the eyes up if you like, or you can relax them. It's your choice. And then we're going to ask you to engage your spacesuit a little bit so that it can be open to some of this upgrading, rewiring, this recalibration process. And we do that with your breath. So we're going to ask you to take a very long, deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And open the mouth and exhale a very long exhalation, like whispering, ah, and hold. And now take that deep breath in again through the nose if possible. Deep, long, fill it up into the belly, the chest, up into the head, and hold. And open the mouth again, release with that long, long sigh, the exhalation. And at the end of it, retain, don't take a breath in. Once again, the deepest breath you ever hold into your body. See a blue light coming in and filling up your body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, and hold. And then again, open the mouth and exhale as fully as you can. Squeeze all the breath out, long as you can, and then pause. One more time, deep, deep breath in. Pull in more bright blue light. Fill up every part of your being. Feel the tingling of this light as you hold it in. And for the last time, open the mouth and exhale fully. And stop, pause. Everything is on pause. And relax and breathe into your body. Just feel it relaxing. Feel that blue light now spreading out from the top of the head down through the forehead, and relaxing and releasing the eyes, the nose, the jaws, the mouth, the tongue, even your teeth. Feel your ears relax. The chin relaxes. And a wave of that blue light goes down from the skull into the neck and into the spinal cord, all the way down. And as it does, your throat relaxes. Shoulders relax, no tension there. The energy flows down your arms into your fingertips, down into the trunk of the body and all of the organs and the systems, the nerves, the glands, the muscles and the bones. And you feel it releasing any tension there in the low back, in the hips, the buttocks, the pelvis, the belly. Let go. Float. Feel that light flowing down through each leg, massaging, releasing and relaxing, down to the core of the bones even, around the knees, behind the knees, down the shins and the calves, and into the feet and toes. Let it go. Become light as a feather, sinking in, surrendering to this light. Very good. Now we'd like for you to imagine your tailbone is unfurling like a cord, and see it getting longer and longer, and energetically breaking down through where you are reclining or resting or sitting. See it going deep into the earth, easily and effortlessly and most harmoniously, with no resistance. See that beautiful cord pushing through with no resistance to the center of the earth. And there you see the heart of Mother Gaia, pure pulsing crystal, pure love. And you wrap that cord around our Earth's heart. And the light from that heart, the energy, the love, starts to move up the cord. So gently, so perfectly. Up, 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 and into your body, filling you with the most beautiful light. Relax even more deeply, resting in the arms of Mother Earth, safe and protected, truly, truly loved. And then again, thinking about that blue light, see a beautiful blue orb above your head. And let it now start to descend down through the top of your head. And it sends its energy throughout the body again, a light, kind of shimmering blue. And you relax even more deeply. And then consolidate the heart back into that orb. But in the middle of the orb, there's a star. And that star gives it energy. That star is spinning inside of the orb, causing it to be magnetic. It's going to start at the heart. It's going to slowly, as you inhale, move up, right next to the spinal cord, up into the head. It's going to pop out the top of the head and roll down the back of the body. And as it does, following your spine, it begins to attract all of the heavy magnetic particles of past wounds, low vibrational feeling states, what you might call karmic particles. And as you inhale, again, you're going to pull that blue ball of light with the star in it up through the spinal cord now, up through each chakra, clearing and balancing and healing, bringing into harmony. When it gets to the top of the head, it pops out and rolls down the back of the body. As you exhale, allowing it to clear the path, it starts to pull not just from around the spinal cord where you hold most of your traumas, but from all of the outlying areas of that beautiful, beautiful piece of technology, your body-mind system. And with each inhale and exhale, the ball of light spins faster and becomes more powerfully magnetic. And the star within it spins faster, giving it energy. See it looping through your system, clearing, allowing for balance, Remember not to hang on to anything, just let it go. If it attaches to the ball, it's wanting to come up to be transmuted, to be transformed into something much, much more beautiful, higher vibration frequency state, much more beneficial for yourself and others. Inhaling, draw it up the spinal tube. Coming out the top of the head, exhaling, let it roll back down the body. Pulling everything that is not needed or wanted, all of the shadow, into its beautiful being. And the next time it gets to the heart, see the blue light now turn bright white. And allow that light to stream out of the heart into the universe. See all those formerly heavy karmic particles turning into that rainbow-hued, transparent, transformed glitter of source, light, and love. See all of those pains, all of those fears, all of that negativity, all of those wounds transforming. Maybe you see them turning into butterflies or stars. You have the power. Use it. Allow it to work. So beautiful. And then notice that this light increases in its quality and its intensity. This bright white, shimmering light with rainbow hues, and you realize you're no longer in your room or the space where you started this journey. You are somewhere else. Where are you? As you look around, you begin to make out forms. And you see that you're in what looks to be a beautiful crystal craft, floating in space, shimmering with this beautiful energetic light from everywhere. And around you, you begin to see other beings. We are now coming face to face with one another. Each of you may see us in your own way, but know that we are featureless, although we do have a pseudo-human form. But we're nearly transparent with a reflective surface on our featureless skin. And through it you can see universes being born, beautiful streams of light and galaxies, energy forms that are morphing and pulsing. And you feel so much love emanating from our projected forms to you. And then a shocking realization. You see your own face reflected where our face should be. You see your own face there because we are you, shining down from another frequency. Or maybe we should say, shining through. And you feel the love that you had for us as you gazed at our beautiful forms. You feel that love now bouncing back to yourself. The saying is true. We are another you, not separate, not different, just expressing in different relative frequencies and vibrational states. You begin to notice some of our company are placing hands on you in different places. Some may even have what look like crystal wands or other appliances, using them softly, gently, on your heart, on your head, on your back, on your organs. Relax. It all feels so good. And the better you feel, the more relaxed you become, and the more relaxed you become, the more able we are to fully integrate this work with you, co-creating with you. At one point you feel soft fingers touching your cheek. Caressing your forehead. Cradling your neck. And relax in complete surrender. You allow someone else, another you, to take over all of the necessities of life for just a few moments or a few eons, depending on your understanding of the concept of time. And one of these reflections of you leans over and has a beautiful crystal clear orb in their hand and spinning both directions in the center is what looks like a diamond Merkaba. And they touch the center of your chest. And an energetic opening appears, and they gently, so lovingly place this orb into your heart. An entirely new, revolutionary operating system. Upgrading your spacesuit. even more importantly, upgrading your energy template, bringing everything into balance. You suddenly see all of creation at once, all of time at once. You may have other realizations and experiences as we allow you to merge with these other versions of yourself for a while in this beautiful craft. Soak up the energy, soak up the love, play for a while, have an adventure. As your DNA is activated, your systems are upgraded, and healing occurs. Enjoy this trip. then having received your upgrade, your activations, and your other beneficial integrations, allow yourself to once again see clearly these beings around you, the environment. Take note of anything that you can notice and remember it. Program it into your mind and into your heart. And know that you can visit here anytime you like. By simply saying to yourself, the teachers, you can return again and again and yet again to avail yourself of this energy, of this communion. Making contact with higher levels of your being, with your own true self. And then the light begins to fade as it forms. You begin to start to shift your attention back to where you started. You begin to feel physical again. And as you pour your consciousness back into this newly upgraded spacesuit, you notice it might feel much more comfortable, expanded even, with new, highly upgraded technology. It feels great to be back here. You feel a renewed sense of purpose and pleasure and joy at being here. You know what you have to do next. And you vow to never again let current world affairs overcome your attention to what true life is. Divine existence, ever-evolving perfection, love, joy, peace, abundance, health and happiness for all parts of yourself. Now, as you begin to come back, allow yourself then to just feel your body resting there in the gravitational embrace of Mother Earth. Feel the breath coming back in and out. Feel your heart beating, your blood pumping. Begin to feel the temperature of the air on your skin and begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And allow yourself to come fully back. Remembering that your cord is still wrapped around the Earth's heart. Begin to retract it now and pull all that beautiful love up into your body, knowing that you can always connect to this beautiful planet and receive physical gifts from her and energetic gifts by either envisioning your cord going down and connecting, or going outside and placing your bare feet on the ground, hugging a tree, breathing in fresh air, dancing under the starlight or the sunlight, or swimming in the ocean or the lakes. You're never disconnected from the love of life. In Lakesh, we are another you. And so if you haven't already done so, you may flutter your eyelids, open your eyes. If you were reclining, might want to sit up, stretch and yawn, take a sip of water or tea, and come fully back. And we'll open the forum up to your questions and conversations. Please remember we're going to be using the raised hands function. If you can't find it, turn your camera on and literally raise your palm so that our partner can see and call on you. Does anyone have a question? All right, does anyone have a question for us? We'd be happy to interact. Or if you have something you'd like to speak about so that we could have an interaction with the group, that would be great. It helps with the integration.
Hi, Debs. This is my first time attending this beautiful meeting and looking forward for more. Thank you for creating this.
Oh,
Thank you so
welcome,
much.
dear Angela. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. How may we be of service?
Thank you so much.
Oh, did you, Catherine, did you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
No, excuse me. I just want to say this is my first time too. And my husband came in the middle of it and scared me awake.
Oh,
I had told him not to bother me, but he thought I was uncomfortable. He kept motioning to the air conditioning, but I did get quite a bit out of it. And I truly believe this is what we need. So
wonderful. Well, thank you. And, you know, nothing happens by accident. There was probably, you know, he needed to show you he cared for you.
oh, that's his way. That's his way. I sent him my love and to leave me alone.
Oh, you practiced what we brought you through to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's why we record this, so that you can have this later. It'll be posted in the event and on our partners' Facebook pages and website and so forth. So you always have it and use it over and over again to help gain momentum, if you will. And share it with everyone, please. Thank you for coming. Does anyone else have a comment or a question?
Yes, it's Len. I'm Len.
Hi,
Dora.
Lynn. Hello. How can
Yes.
we help you?
Yes, I feel like there's the shift going on and was wondering if everybody feels the change. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Could you please repeat that? There was someone else coming through.
Yes, I was just asking about the shift that's going on
Mm-hmm.
and if everybody feels anything different, you know, in their lives that's going on, because I know I do.
Oh, yes. Anyone else feel anything different as this shift is occurring? You could just raise your hand. Yeah.
Like me, I can give up my personal experience right now that I'm suffering right now with a throat infection, and I have difficulties. I've been going to the doctor twice, and they give me a shot, but still the pain is there. I feel like a needles. But after this meditation, I feel much better. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Debs.
Wonderful, Angela. Yes, what and what Angela's describing and what Lynn was saying is that, they're talking about some of the accessory things that might happen during this very accelerated time of shift and transformation for the human species. You may actually have some physical symptoms. Some of them might be dire. Those of you who've been with us over the last few years, remember our partner had a very dire situation where she lost her hearing and lost her balance and was debilitated for about 6 to 8 months. And we kept telling her not to be in fear, which is what we want to tell all of you. If you do have weird symptoms or aches or pains or conditions that are related to this, it is just merely your body, which is a physical, part of this construct that is very slow moving and slow reacting to all of these energetic changes that you're taking in. You're taking in huge amounts of energy that you have not before taken into this form. And so the body is trying to catch up to it, allow it, do all of the spiritual practices that you are used to or that you're drawn to, continue with this work as much as possible, and just love yourself and stay out of the state of fear, because there isn't anything to be afraid of. It's just part of the process. But because the body is made of slower moving material than your energy field, it's taking a while to catch up. But it does catch up. We will tell you that. And when it does, it's like an extreme transformation that is so joyful and beautiful. And you'll have new gifts, or you'll have better realizations and lots of inspiration and just more things at your service from within yourself. So be patient with yourself. Take good care of yourself. Roy, you have raised your hand. Did you have a question?
How do you get more cynical people to grasp the concept and understand, become enlightened?
You don't. You don't. You don't interfere in anyone else's path. Remember, everyone is walking the same path, but they're all walking at their own pace and in their own way. And some of them see lots of shiny things on the side of the road, and so they get, diverted by their attention to that. It is not anyone's place to wake anyone else up or to try to, talk someone else into believing what is happening. Each person will have that realization in their own perfect timing. And we do want to emphasize the word perfect. It is perfect for each person. Everybody's on their own deadline, if you will, for this process. So we don't want you to feel disappointed, because we feel your heart. You want to help others. We know how good you are. But remember that can be an interference in the perfect way that they are moving down the path. They have come in with a whole other set of karmic agendas and plans for how they're going to accomplish this in this life. Does that make sense? All you can do is be as loving and open and grateful and forgiving and of service to them without interfering. Be very careful of how the ego likes to trick you into thinking you're being altruistic or a help and assistance, when really sometimes it's just trying to get you to control other people to come your way. And so that's it's just another little piece of learning that everyone goes through. We've been through it ourselves. We're all still scratching the surface of it. But bless you for wanting to help everybody understand this. The way you know if it's not interfering is if they ask you wholeheartedly to explain it or to help them with the process first. Does that make sense? Did we lose him?
No, he's on, he didn't take it off mute.
Oh,
No,
okay.
thank you.
Oh, you're so
Again, I'm
welcome.
at work, so.
Okay, sorry, we can't see all of the screens from here. So thank you so much for your question. Did that help?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Keep doing the good work. You are. You're so special and we love you. Anyone else?
Yes, I wanted to ask if anybody had any dreams. I'm dreaming a lot of futuristic things, so I was just curious. Also, during the shift, there are things I'm noticing that are happening with dreams. They're so real. It's unbelievable how real they are. So, anybody else?
Well, number one, do you know why they seem so real? It's because they are real. They are another part of your reality. You're just, when you are so relaxed that your body is sleeping, you're able to tune yourself in to more of your realities. Now, why they may not make as much sense to you when you wake up, like they might be all jumbled up or they might be wild or, something outrageous, is because the little onboard computer in your spacesuit only can handle so much information. And where you are, what you call your dream state, in those realities, the energy is so grand that only a small part of that information can come through when you're awake in your physical earth life. So the reason why your dreams are becoming more vivid and more exciting and more intriguing is because you're growing up and you're able to tune into those other realities. And pretty soon you're going to realize you can do that while you're walking around awake in a spacesuit because of the upgrade you just took on for yourself.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And it is part of the shift. It is part of the reason for the shift. So good job. Good work.
Yay.
All right, let's see. We have other people with raised hands. Interesting. I can't see. Okay, here we go. It's not showing. Let's see this. Okay, we had Roy. Mark, did you want to say something? Mark Valentine?
Hi, Deb. It's good to be here.
Thank you. It's good to have you.
And congratulations on your movie.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's been a labor of love, and it's really exciting times for us.
Yeah. Well, Deb, I'm an experiencer and learning or experiencing about the relationship between the mind, the body, and the soul. And I'd like to see or hear from your teachers as to what they would say, hear them talk about the relationship of mind, body, and soul. And do they still go through the incarnation cycle?
Oh, excellent questions. First of all, mind, body, and soul are one and the same, but they're different layers of the same, if that makes sense. For instance, in the body that you have right here that we're looking at, you have that skin that covers all of the muscles and the organs and the glands and the systems and the bones, right? So that's your kind of outer layer. And then the inner layer contains, for instance, the muscles and the bony structure. And then there's an even deeper layer that contains your nerves and your endocrine system and all of the systems. They're all considered part of the same body, but they all can be looked at in individualized ways. You can study just the skin, for instance. You can study just the endocrine system. And that's what mind, body, and spirit are, or mind, body, and soul. They are different layers of your being, but they are quantum entangled. So they inform each other all the time, just like you inform each other all the time. Okay? So there is no real separation of anything. Everything exists all at once in the same point of non-local consciousness. but each part, as you do an exploded view of for instance, what you look like as a human being in the third dimensional earth life, as an exploded view, you can see there's the skin, there are the structures, there are the systems. Even greater is your energy body. And even greater, there are just more and more layers of frequency of your being, which then becomes the infiniverse. So each has a different and specific function or functions, but they all work together coherently as a whole when you are in balance. And that's the key. That's why we do these practices, is to get and stay focused on being in balance. When you're in balance and you're in that coherent state, then everything just sort of flows for you. You become a person in flow. And when you're a person in the flow state, you can create anything. And nothing can stop you. And it's all good. You don't have any negative consequences. Does that answer your first question?
Thank you.
Okay, the second question is, do we continue, we're assuming you're meaning we, the star teachers, do we continue to incarnate? We do
Yes.
not, in the way that you are thinking about human incarnations. Remember, that system is part of the construct of the third dimensional earth human state. That is what holds this whole idea together, is the reincarnation, but it is not linear. It's you expressing yourself as all the different parts of that construct. Now, when you lift that up to the frequency where we are, and believe us, we are way down here compared to many other beings in the cosmos, we still incarnate, but not in the way that you consider. We just continue to raise the bar on frequency. And when you do that, you continue to lift your vibrational state, you take on more and more rarefied qualities, more divine qualities. So in a sense, we do continue to incarnate, but the word incarnation simply means to put on another body. And once you leave this particular construct, you still have the choice to have a physical form when you want to, and you can take any physical form you want. We do. But for the most part, you do not have a body. You are made of liquid crystalline light. Okay? We hope that wasn't too confusing. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Thank you.
In other words, we are all always evolving at even the highest level, from source singularity, continuously evolving and growing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roy, did you have another question? You need to unmute if you...
No, I didn't.
Okay, thank you. We're behind on the hands. Does anyone else have something to ask or say?
Hi, I do. This is Charlene.
Hello, Charlene.
Thank you. What a great session.
Thank you for your energy.
Thank you. I think a lot about purpose, and it seems like in the past, purpose has been centered around what I see as problems in the world, things to be solved that I can help solve. I've started to shift and to think that really it's about, I won't have to explain myself to you, but it's about my own experience as a human and finding joy in what I do, and simply inviting people to join the journey that I'm on. Does that sound reasonable? It seems too fun, too simple.
Well, here's the thing. The higher you become in your vibrational state, the closer to divine source energy you align yourself to, the more elegantly simple life becomes, and the more playful and joyful it becomes as well. You know, we always tend to think that, as humans anyway, when we were your age, let's just say, we remember thinking that the higher up the food chain you go, the more complex you must become. But think about your own technology right now. Think about this. 50 years ago, a computer that didn't have enough power to run an old-fashioned iPod took up a campus-sized building. And that thing is what powered the first rockets. It wasn't even as powerful as your Apple Watch, okay? But it was extremely complicated. Thousands, millions of miles of cables and tubes and electrical components and crystals and all manner of things made up that huge computer that couldn't do what your watch does now. And then look at your phone. The little phone that you carry in your pocket now has more computing power with simpler technology, if you want to put it that way, less cumbersome technology than that huge campus-sized, small town-sized computer from just 50 years ago. The more advanced you become, the more simple and refined you become. It is a law of the universe. The elegance in that is that as you start refining, you learn. And as you learn, you're able to let go of some of the stuff that holds you back or that slows down the systems. And is that what you're doing right now yourself in your species? That's exactly what's happening. So 10 years ago, you were that old clunky Cray computer. And now you're the flip phone. And by the end of this year, you're going to be the smartphone. And then look out for what happens next. And we'll let that be the surprise. Does that make sense?
Wow. What a great explanation. Thank you. That brought such clarity.
Thank you. Thank you for asking the question. It was a really good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Raymond? Be sure to unmute yourself. There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
It's been an honor to be a part of this session tonight, and it was a really great trip. Thank you too.
You do wonderful work. Each of you does. And we're so grateful to you. Did you have a question at all?
No, not at the moment, but thank you so much. It's nice to be part of this group because there's not too many people around that I'm aware of in my area right now that I can connect with. So this is really great to be able to connect with everybody.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And we're so delighted that you added your energy here. And we will say that our partner now has realigned her life where she's going to be able to now start holding these sessions more often like she used to. So do be aware that you'll have, this group to come back to more often so that you can refresh yourself and get to know other people and have conversations like this more often. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is it Carolina or Carolina?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, Carolina. Hi.
Hello, Carolina.
First, thank you for this. It was amazing. My question is a question for everyone, but I know that not like that they can all like answer. But I'm 35 years old, and I've always felt different. And today I was going through like a diary, like that you write when you're a teenager. I wrote something when I was 10, and I was already quite deep and talking about reality in life. When did you start feeling that you were, I don't know if different is the word, but like that you had something that like, I don't know how to describe it without being, um, yeah, I mean, how old were you? Have you found that out like long
Um,
time ago, or was
well,
it
this is,
something?
if you're just asking me, Deb Shakti, I came in like this and I didn't know any better. And, and I think my parents, just kind of, um, waved it off like they thought I was very creative and imaginative as a little child. But very soon they became it became a problem for them, and they told me to stop, because I lived multidimensionally. I had other families that I lived with right there in my own house, and I'm interacting with ETs and manipulating energy and hearing everybody else's thoughts and feelings. And so for me, it was just a way of life, but I had to kind of tone it down. I had to learn how to tone it down. And that was a good skill to learn too, because you don't come at everybody like a fire hose all the time, right? You just wash them away when you come, use everything. So you learn how to meet people where they are. So that was a big learning for me. But it's in working with all the people I've worked with over these many decades, I've found that people often discover that they have these gifts when they're small children, or a lot of the times they discover them during puberty when their hormones are starting to come on. And for women, a lot of women have realized that they have all of these gifts, and they just start to come online when they go through pregnancy, even. And then, and for men, sometimes they go through it when, again, during puberty, or there are many people who have them just kind of instantly come online if they've had a very big trauma, emotional or physical trauma. So it just kind of, it's almost like it has its own timing mechanism for each person.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? But
Yes,
it's
it does.
interesting that you are now going back and reading those journals that you wrote when you were a young child, and then realizing just how deep
Mm-hmm.
your investigation was going.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was crazy.
we highly recommend for everyone to always journal as much as you
Mm-hmm.
can, because you will not believe what wisdom you are connecting to, and you can look at that years later, and it's almost like you're writing your future self a love letter, or reminding your future self of something that you may have forgotten. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you. Thanks for everyone, and special one to Lynn, my sister.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us. And this person, it just says iPhone. So who's iPhone?
It could be Linda.
Hi, Linda.
How are you?
Just great.
So I'm pretty excited about this tonight. I had a lot of opening kind of confirmation. The one I loved the most was letting people come to me and tell me where they're at. In the probably the last month, I've been asking people their questions where they are and how they felt and different things, rather than even giving them an answer of mine. So that's been kind of an eye opener. But also in the last 2 weeks, I've had lots of pain in my body, and I've not had that. I've never had that. And so that's been real interesting. And after we went through this just now, I just realized most of it's gone. So maybe I was really looking for a balancing tonight with this.
More than likely, yes. And we will say that what's really extraordinary and always surprises us is that when you get together with a group and you become heart coherent, the energy is so exponentially increased that things that normally would take you 10 years to overcome happen in a few minutes. And yet it's not an overpowering thing. Like you don't have after effects, from all of that energy.
Mhm.
So again, everybody has their own timing mechanism, but it's no mistake that you came here tonight to be with these other like-minded and like-spirited beings, because you all helped each other during this process. We want you to understand healing doesn't come from other people. Like, it didn't come from us, it came from you, but utilizing the group coherence to make that happen. And when you help yourself, when you heal yourself, you affect everyone else around you in that way too. So it's not a selfish pursuit ever. So thank you for that. And we hope that you continue to feel better and more equalized, and go out there and change the world for the better.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Are we complete for the evening? Well, please know that you can always interact with us. Just get in touch with our partner, Deb Shakti. We can always become available to you in a session. And we will be having another one of these more than likely sometime in August, depending on her schedule. Oh, it looks like Linda has her hand up. Linda? Hi, Linda.
I just want to say thank you so much for this session. It's almost 3:30 a.m. here in Copenhagen, Denmark. But I have enjoyed it so much, and I'm feeling really high of the whole meditation. And I have one of the star teachers standing here in my room, and it's just so beautiful. And I feel just filled up with light and bliss, and I got a lot to chat with them about. So I just want to say thank you so much to you, Peps, and all your spirit guides and star teachers and everybody here for coming. So thank you so much.
Linda lives it's in Copenhagen, right? You live in Copenhagen?
Yeah.
It's 3:30 in the morning there. So what a devoted person. Thank you for holding the energy for that part of the world today, Linda. Bless you. Bless you. And just get hold of me anytime. We're happy to chat. All right, we love you. Angela, did you have something else?
Pues thank you again. Thanks for creating this, and I'm looking forward for the following one. And I feel that time flies so fast. I didn't feel it was 2 hours. I feel it was a minute. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Blessings. Blessings to each one of you. It's a beautiful family.
Blessings to everything you do for the world, Angela. For those of you who may not know, Angela has a very popular podcast. She works on several radio shows. You can find an interview that she did with me maybe a week or two ago on my Facebook.
Yes, and the film director John Joss for the documentary, the Alien Abduction Answer. I have the honor to watch, along with my husband, the documentary 3 times. And it's the beautiful quality film, and the director, all the guests and people were featured. And you can find me on Angela Lapetina Presents, and you can be able to find the interview I did to filmmaker John Joss. And then 2 weeks ago, I did one to Debs. And also, you can find that on Radio Lumini, because I pass all these to our friends and brothers from the United Kingdom, people from Europe. And I'm residing in Texas, so I'm kind of in the middle. So, because that's the purpose for, and for me, it's just pass and human connections. This is a project I'm looking forward, and I'm very blessed that I meet one of you, and it's just a beautiful family. And thanks, Steps, for creating these beautiful events. Thank you so much. Blessings.
Thank you, Angela. And that reminds me, I should have said something at the very beginning. For any of you who are doing this work, you know, who have something to share with the group, for instance, Angela does so much broadcasting and interviewing and light work. Please write in the chat where you can be found, your websites or your sites.
Yes.
I will copy the chat and put that in the description part of. I'll post this to YouTube eventually, and we'll put that in the description part so that you can look that up and connect with each other. Maybe you felt drawn to someone in this, or several people in this event tonight. Uh, if anyone wants to share their email address there, if you feel comfortable, go ahead, and that way we can share that with each other, and that's how we build our community. Tashina, you had your hand up. How may we be of service to you tonight, my dear? Be sure you unmute yourself.
Hi, Debs. I just wanted to say how beautiful this was and how uplifting. And this is my first time here. I just really want to thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tashina, and thank you for your presence here on the planet. I happen to know who you are and what you're doing here. You can say here or not, but I just wanted to acknowledge that you are anchoring the most beautiful energy here on this planet right now, and we are all very grateful, whether people are aware or not. Tashina is doing a lot of very deep work for our planet and for really everyone. So thank you, Tashina.
You're very welcome. But they're telling me to tell you that you are so loved and you give out so much love, and it just fills my heart. So Wapila Tanka. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Bless you. In Lakesh.
In Lakesh.
Oh, wow. That really got to me. So my human self's coming out. Anyone else?
That was so beautiful. Oh, just real fast.
Go ahead, Lynn.
I wanted to say that, you know, the picture you put in the ad to show us, that's from AI, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's from the old movie AI, one of my favorite movies. It is the closest depiction I can find of what the Star Teachers look like to me.
Right.
They are kind of that shiny, featureless humanoid, but they're much taller than us, longer limbs. At least that's the form that they usually show up physically for me as. But sometimes they're orbs, sometimes they're just waves of light. But yeah,
their
I probably
consciousness.
shouldn't be using that because I don't have copyright for
No,
for
it's
the picture. But
beautiful. Yeah,
it is as close as I can get. Yeah, you can see into them, and what you see is these shooting streams and kind of spirals of light of colors that you don't see here on Earth. But they're also reflective. Like, and that was the first time I literally heard that tonight. I heard them say, if you look into our featureless face, you see the reflection of your own. It's because we are you.
Right.
So
we're us, we're them, they're us. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jill, hi.
Hello. Just wanted to say thank you.
Hi, Debs. Victor here too.
Victor's joined us also.
Hi, Victor.
Hello.
Oh, it's so good to see. It's so good to see both of you. I love you both. I haven't seen you in so long. Thank you. And your space is always so pretty. I love it.
Yeah, we're in my
so
studio right now.
Yeah, I thought so. But thank you for holding this energy. I know that you've had a really tough go of it the last couple of years, physically and otherwise.
Yeah.
And
my battles are not anywhere near what others are going through, and that's why I'm using my voice to speak up for them.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. You're a beautiful, beautiful soul. And we continue to work with you on your own healing for sure, because you know, the better you feel, the more of service you can be to these others who have been suffering. So we love you so much, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did you have a question or anything, or you just wanted
No,
to thank us?
I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. Love you so much. All right. Anybody else? Wonderful. Well, if we're complete, we'll conclude the evening by just sending us all, ourselves included, but sending you and all of humanity and all of the planet Earth this blessing. We want to remind you that you've already done it. Now it's up to you to raise your vibrational state and sustain your focus on that frequency, that reality that you want to become your real reality. You can make this a heaven on earth, or you can make a heaven anywhere you like. All you have to do is love, and it begins with yourself and radiates out. If you can keep your mind and your heart focused on that, nothing will stop you, and we assure you, nothing does. Because of you, we exist. We love you so much. We thank you. In Lakesh, we are another you. Wow, gang. I don't know about you, but number one, I'm wringing wet, so there must have been a whole lot of energy going on there. That was great. And I just want to say thanks to everybody. If anyone has any questions later, you can always hit me up. You know how to get me on my social media, my emails, text, whatever. I'm on just about everything you could imagine. And I really appreciate all of you. And thanks to all of you who have watched or bought the film or who've shared it with others. I really appreciate it. The message of that film, despite the funny name, is one of the same thing that we listened to tonight. It's all about becoming more consciously self-aware and then using that conscious self-awareness to spread love and create from that space. So thank you once again. I will bid you all a good whatever it is for you. Linda, I hope you can go to sleep now and have some sweet dreams. For others, you may just be waking up, or you may be getting ready to go do something. I hope whatever you do, you have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, and a beautiful life. Thank you. I love you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Jeff.
Good night. Bye.